You would have thought one example would be enough for them. Let's see if you can convince them. Pick it up.
The film opens in Afghanistan in 2021, where a menacing figure named Malik returns home from a hotel, his anger palpable as he proceeds to the rear of his residence. There, he keeps several individuals confined in cages, while hungry dogs observe the prisoners. Malik instructs his associate to release them, revealing that among the captives are 4 boys and 1 girl. He then coerces the girl to sit in the center of a marketplace, commanding the onlookers to stone her to death. Without hesitation, the crowd begins to hurl stones at her. Suddenly, helicopters descend from the sky, and soldiers on board open fire, inciting panic among the spectators. The soldiers are there to rescue the girl, who is identified as their friend, Jake. They swiftly retrieve her and lift her into the helicopter. In a moment of chaos, Malik destroys one of the helicopters, prompting the pilot, upon realizing that Jake and other soldiers are aboard, to attempt an escape. Jake urges the pilot to return to save his fallen comrades, but the pilot refuses. From above, Jake witnesses the tragic fate of his companions and screams in horror. The scene then transitions to a girls' school, where students are enjoying their break time, laughing and joking. Suddenly, several vehicles storm the school grounds, where a man named Amir and his associates began assaulting teachers and students, forcing them into cars. Some girls fled to the roof in an attempt to escape. Amir aggressively demanded information regarding Dan's daughter but was met with silence. A teacher informed him that the girl was absent, prompting Amir to shoot her in a fit of rage. Continuing his search for the girl, Amir eventually located her and ordered his men to throw the other girls off the roof. He recorded a video boasting about capturing her and subsequently locked the girls in a room. One of the captives revealed that they were attempting to capture this girl due to her causing trouble for their army captain, which led to military intervention. Meanwhile, Jake, recovering from these traumatic events, attended a meeting with military officers who dismissed her concerns, stating they would address the issues after the upcoming holidays. Feeling frustrated and powerless, Jake went to a boxing gym to relieve some stress. After her math class, she met a man named Travis, who assisted her by showing pictures of the girls held by Amir. Travis arranged a passport for Jake so she could travel to the location where Amir was keeping the girls. At the airport, a man approached her, attempting to be overly friendly, which made her uncomfortable. He then drove her to a hotel, setting the stage for the next phase of her mission. Upon arrival, a girl led Jake into a room where several other girls were already waiting, along with a man named Dr. Mike. After everyone introduced themselves, Jake focused on her mission and began reaching out to necessary contacts to proceed. Later, when Jake met with Travis, a woman approached them urgently requesting Jake's help in retrieving her daughter from the terrorists, promising a substantial reward for her assistance. Determined to continue her mission, Jake and her team set out on their journey. They needed to cross the border but discovered it was closed and had to wait for it to reopen. They had a truck filled with medical supplies, which they planned to use as justification for crossing. Upon reaching the border, the military conducted a thorough inspection of their truck. Meanwhile, Malik contacted a girl and proposed a deal, promising her freedom in exchange for completing a task. He handed her a letter and instructed her to deliver it to the police station. Eager for her liberation, the girl agreed and took the letter as directed. However, as soon as she entered the police station, a man quickly exited a nearby vehicle, and seconds later, a massive explosion occurred, detonating the bomb inside the car. The blast sent everyone outside scrambling for cover in shock. The girl who had delivered the letter promptly informed her companions about the incident. Jake and her team ultimately succeeded in crossing the border and arrived at a hotel. Disguising herself in a burqa, Jake went to meet a local woman with whom she was acquainted, inquiring if she had any information on Malik's whereabouts. While Jake and her team focused on their objectives, Travis and the girls proceeded to a location they believed to be significant. Upon arrival, they discovered that the site had already been destroyed, leading to Travis's frustration. Meanwhile, the partner of the owner of the devastated location took one of the girls in a car to the police station, instructing her to deliver a letter to an officer. That night, the same group responsible for the earlier bombing at the police station struck again, this time targeting another building. The military responded swiftly to the situation, providing Jake and her team with an opportunity to capitalize on the ensuing chaos. They moved in, eliminating remaining threats and collecting weapons from the scene. Just as the military returned to the area, Jake and her companions loaded their vehicles with the seized weapons and launched an attack on military vehicles. They utilized explosives to inflict further damage before attempting to flee. During this turmoil, one of Jake's companions was shot and fell from the vehicle. Unwilling to abandon her, Jake ordered the driver to turn back. She returned to assist her injured companion, ensuring her safety. Despite their efforts, Jake and her team faced significant challenges in their escape, narrowly avoiding capture. Tragically, Travis, one of Jake's closest friends, was shot and lost his life during their flight. Devastated by his death, Jake clutched his phone number tightly in her hand and dispatched one of her teammates to trace it, hoping to uncover leads that could aid their mission moving forward. Jake prepared to lay her fallen friend to rest when a woman, who had previously promised financial assistance to secure her daughter's release from the terrorists, arrived. This woman brought the agreed-upon funds and expressed her desire to support Jake and her team, aiming to bolster their morale and encourage them not to abandon their mission. Concurrently, the owner of the targeted location was attempting to manipulate another girl, offering her freedom in exchange for her cooperation. Jake's former friend arrived to join her and the rest of the team, introducing herself and sharing vital intelligence regarding the terrorists' plans. She also mentioned a man who had recently been released from prison and was currently under surveillance by Jake and her team. They needed his assistance to threaten the terrorists and facilitate the rescue of the captured girls. As the team set multiple traps for the military in their ongoing struggle, one of Jake's companions sustained severe injuries, adding to their losses. Although there were two drivers accompanying Jake, one had been killed. Despite these setbacks, they had yet to confront the terrorists directly. Overwhelmed by the turmoil surrounding her, Jake felt her resolve waning, particularly as she grappled with concerns for the safety of her team members. In a moment of despair, she wept, feeling powerless. Tragically, they soon received devastating news. One of their teammates had been captured by the military, who executed her by slitting her throat on live video. Witnessing this horrific act sent Jake into a state of anguish, as she screamed in horror and expressed her grief and fury. Later, Jake learned that it was her former friend, the one she had trusted and believed would empathize with her, who had betrayed them by informing the military of their plans. Enraged, Jake confronted the woman and struck her in her fury, only to discover that she was an associate of Malik and had been colluding with him all along. Additionally, the elderly man released by the military was also complicit in this betrayal. Malik arrived and took the elderly man with him. Meanwhile, Jake, resolute in her determination, stood at a distance with her companions, observing the unfolding events. Unbeknownst to them, she had discreetly installed a tracking system on the woman's phone, enabling her to monitor Malik's location. Utilizing secret routes, Jake and her team followed the signal to Malik's hideout. Upon their arrival, Jake disguised herself in a burqa to blend in with the other women present. She remained vigilant, taking mental notes of significant details around her before descending to the area where the girls were being held captive. Once she located the girls, she transmitted their location to her companions, hoping they would arrive promptly. Meanwhile, Malik attempted to manipulate one of the girls by offering her freedom in exchange for agreeing to marry him. To enhance the illusion of a wedding, he had her adorned in bridal attire. However, the situation escalated dramatically when Malik unexpectedly killed the elderly man with a sword. Seizing this opportunity, Jake took decisive action. She shot the old man in front of a camera to ensure the event was recorded. During this chaos, her companions reached the hideout and strategically planted explosives to disrupt Malik's operations. As suspicion grew among Malik's group, they ordered the women in burqas to stand before them and demanded that they remove their veils to prove they were not spies. When one woman hesitated to comply, a man forcibly removed her veil. In an instant, the unveiled woman activated a concealed button in her hand, triggering explosions throughout the hideout. Jake's team then commenced the rescue operation, freeing the girls and escorting them to safety. Ultimately, Jake confronted Malik, leading to an intense confrontation between them. After a fierce battle, she succeeded in killing Malik. Her companions continued to fight valiantly until their last breath, demonstrating remarkable courage and determination to complete their mission. Once the battle concluded, Jake handed over the rescued girls and her surviving companion to the army. They departed the hideout via helicopter. However, Jake was not finished. She was committed to continuing her mission of rescuing more girls like those they had just saved. Therefore, she chose to remain behind with her driver, prepared to persist in her fight for those still in need of assistance. The movie ends. Please subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.